Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you're going to find a way to win or find a way to lose, and make sure you find your way over, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member to the channel, and leave that donation for that fried rice. And matter of fact, I want some hibachi. I'm feeling a little bit better. Still here, I'm kind of forcing myself to speak, man. I don't know what the hell. I thought I was on the road again, but I'm not. Ran into another goddamn wall. I don't know what the hell, boy. This damn flu don't want to leave me. But anyway, man, leave that donation so I can go get me some hibachi. Maybe I'll eat some hibachi later. Now, on to business, man, without all the jokes and shit. Yo, Teofimo Lopez, his dad, right? Somebody was saying he left Teofimo Lopez in the ring. Now, I'll say this. After the Shakur Stevenson fight, cameras caught a moment where Teofimo was still in the ring, but his father seemed distant and frustrated. You know, this thing about his father left him in the ring and his father, I don't know if, I can't say that. I did see the pops in the ring, but he did seem disinterested in talking to the Shakur Stevenson team, and he seemed real frustrated, you know what I'm saying? So, I know some people will sit here and argue, no, he left him, you just missed that, Hood. I mean, look, whether he left him or not, the visual mattered, you know what I'm saying? To some fans, it looked like disappointment instead of support, and that's how I took it. Like he was blaming his son instead of showing unity and saying, "All right, you know, it's all right. Everybody keep their head up." And there was more frustration projected at Teofimo Lopez instead of trying to comfort his son. You know, Teofimo Lopez is an open book. It's obvious that ever since we talk about we always talk about it. Back in the day, Mike Tyson, still talk about Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, Adrian Broner. You know, the hottest topic out here for the last few months is Claressa Shields, right? There's obviously something that's going on with Teo and been going on for a while. And it may have all started with he talked about him and his wife and separating and all that, and him not being able to see his child. This is all in the past. I'm sure it's all water under the bridge now. But that's when it seemed to where he really started to have this weird behavior that he was portraying. You know what I'm saying? So if you're the father of an athlete, I'm making an assumption that he knows everything that's going on with his son. Why would you project frustration on him after that, the way he lost in front of the world, knowing that most of these boxing fans, they couldn't wait to get their ass on their phones, on the computers, and start to shred Teofimo? Why would you project frustration onto your child instead of comfort? That's what I don't understand. I remember when Canelo lost to Floyd Mayweather. Canelo was walking around the ring with his chin down. I don't know if it was Eddie Reynoso or Eddie Reynoso's dad. What's his name? Chepo Reynoso? Anyway, he came and he lifted his head up. He told him, don't ever drop your head like that, you know, and something along those lines. Where was the person in Teofimo's corner to grab him and hug him and squeeze him like, hey, fuck it. It's a fight. You did what you could. Keep your head up. I didn't see that. But, you know, in boxing, optics are everything. Maybe it did happen. It just wasn't caught on camera, and I just didn't see it because I was sitting here all curled up with the goddamn, with the handyman virus, you know what I'm saying? But to me, at that moment, it looked like a father coach upset with his son and not a coach protecting his fighter. It was more like blaming his fighter. And it's like, yo, you're a piece of shit. That's how I took it. And that alone fueled a lot of backlash from everybody, and it's fueled backlash for me because I don't think Teofimo deserved for his dad to do him that way. You know, but they have a weird relationship, so maybe that's all normal in their world. And they'll probably sit back and, if they watch this video, say, now Hood Champion taking it to the stupid. He's looking way too deep into this. But what I'll say, right? What I'll do, I'll ask a question. Why was his dad blaming Teo? Because through the whole fight, and even in the corner, he was just more or less blaming him. Where's your speed, bro? Where's your power, bro? Where's the grilled cheese sandwich that I made you this morning, bro? Where's this? It's like, yo, my man, who, what, when, where, why, how many questions you gonna ask him? How about you tell him something to do? Tell him. You can't, the man comes to the corner looking for direction. You asking him questions. What was that? Now, I know about team dynamics. I know about working groups. I know about dealing with confrontation. You know what I'm saying? I understand organizations. And I understand when you have a team and there's the leader of the team. And when they're struggling and they need guidance, they need leadership, they need an answer, they need something. You don't come into the damn room, sit your ass down at the table with everybody and start asking them a bunch of questions. Why didn't this happen? Why didn't that happen? Why didn't this? Why didn't that? When they've already, you're already sitting back watching what's going on, and you're the one that put together the damn game plan. I talk about it all the time, getting ready for major inspections. I'm the one that put together the game plans. I'm the one that, shit, man, a year before the big inspection that was coming, I'm already reading, I'm doing my research, I'm saying, okay, we need to look at this. I'm looking at what happened when these inspection teams hit other bases. I'm like, okay, they did this to these other units, okay. Well, we need to make sure that we don't have these problems. It's the same shit getting ready for a fight. You're looking at Shakur and what he does well, what he does bad, okay. This is going to be our inspection. And he fought these other fighters. Okay, this is what he did here. This is what he did. This is what didn't work out too well for him. All right, for us, this should be our game plan. And if that ain't working, then you have a plan B and C. I always did. But of course, you can, look, when you're preparing for something, the approach is very similar. But his dad was suggesting that Teo didn't follow instructions. Whose fault is that? I couldn't walk into no damn room with my whole team and sit there and suggest that they're not following instructions, and then they're like, okay, what do you want us to do? And be like, oh, well, why are you asking me what to do? No, I'm not going to come in there and do that because that's a waste of time. Come in there, I can already see the mistakes that happen. I'm going to hit them, yo, this is what you need to do. And you need to do this. If that's not working, then try this. You know, you gotta give them something. There should be some kind of contingency plan. What was the contingency plan? If plan A, B, and C don't work, we need to go to the contingency plan. I know what my contingency plan would have been for that goddamn fight. Foul him. Lose a point. Knock him down. Elbow him. Headbutt him. Fight dirty. That's just me. You're already losing. You ain't going to win. Lose a point. Headbutt him. Make him scared to come out here and try to box you. Make him scared to try to jab. Make him scared to be too close to you. Make him start thinking about, shit, I ain't trying to get cut. I'm not trying to get hurt. The crowd would have booed. They were booing him anyway. That's what I would have been like. But not his dad. He's like, yo, Teo didn't listen. Teo fought the wrong fight. Teo didn't follow instructions. Teo didn't this. Teo didn't that. That shit hit fans wrong, man. It hit fans wrong. Teo was the one in there getting hit, not his dad. It was Teo getting hit, bro. You weren't getting hit, bro. Teo was getting hit, bro. Teo was the one tired. Not you, bro. You were that, I don't know, was that fight where he climbed in the ring and fell and shit? Teo was the one in danger. That's why fans are sitting here looking at his dad now saying, man, this dude is out there. So when the blame goes downward, it feels like I'm wrong, I'm right, he's wrong. I don't believe in that crap at all. If you are the person that's leading that team, when things go wrong, you take the blame. If you're the person leading that team and things are going great, you give them all the credit. You take none. Because they're going to give you the love anyway if you did it right. You don't come and say, well, I and me. And I and me, and I and me, and me and I, me and I, me and my. Shut up with that bullshit. Nobody want to hear you talk about your goddamn self and how great you are and I did this and I did that. Who you, Oscar De La Hoya now? And me and I and what I done and look what me did and look. Hey, yo, Oscar, I kindly request in the most respectful way that you hold your horses and stop taking it to the goddamn stupid. Man blamed his child. Are you kidding me, man? I think fans expect a trainer to say, we'll go back to the drawing board. They don't expect you to say, he didn't do what I said, bro. Nobody want to hear that. So I was sitting here thinking to myself, what's a trainer's real role in boxing? A trainer's job is to come up with a strategy for the conditioning of the fighter, mental stability, adjustments, accountability, protection of the fighter. You know, not just screaming at them, not blaming them, not just hyping them, not just ego. A trainer must calm a fighter. You got to read the fighter, make changes, take responsibility, help the fighter make adjustments, take pressure off the fighter publicly. That's leadership. And that's the problem. These cats out here don't really understand leadership. Yeah, they're training and doing stuff, you know, but they really don't understand leadership. Because if he really did, he wouldn't allow himself to get all worked up like that. I get it. He's human. He's emotional. That's his son. But that was crazy. That's why we're sitting here talking about it. If a fighter loses, who should be blamed? I mean, the truth is both share responsibility. The fighter got to execute the game plan, got to stay disciplined, got to perform. The trainer got to prepare him. He's got to adjust, guide him. But the trainer got to take accountability. But publicly, most great trainers say, that's on me. Privately, they correct the fighter. That's respect. They're like, I'll take the shots. I used to do that. You have to learn that. You know what I'm saying? And even though you know, I have a goddamn thing to do with this shit falling apart. You know you didn't. But you got to own it. Because those are the people who you're responsible for. Nah, you saved them. You saved them. You take them hollow points. You know what I'm saying? But when you save them and rescue them, you get your ass behind closed doors. That's when you hit them with the bleep, 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 bleep. What that bleep, bleep, bleep? This is bull, bleep, bleep, bleep. That's where you tighten their ass up. But out in public, you don't do that, man. And that's why fans out here saying Teofimo Sr. never takes accountability. This is the pattern that fans are pointing out. They're like, yo, if they take a loss, it equals an excuse. If they take a loss, it's bad judging. If they take a loss, well, then Teofimo didn't listen. Take a loss is the referee sucks. To take a loss, it's the politics, bro. They don't want us here because we're Latinos. Rarely do you get from those guys in any fight, even fights, I think it was Sando Martin, where it was a pretty close fight. They never say we were getting outboxed. They don't say that. It's always an excuse, man. And that creates, for the fighter especially, no learning, no humility, no growth. Because you sit there in a victim stance the whole time. And fans hate that energy. That's why fans out here going off right now. Shit, people talk about Claressa Shields' attitude. But what about Teofimo Sr.? Claressa Shields? See, this is where the double standard comes in. Claressa gets criticized for being loud, being confrontational, being emotional. Claressa is trying to get her stuff together. You can see she's trying. But she's just trying, right? But the way they drag her every day, Teofimo Sr., he yells in the corner. He attacks media. He blames others. He creates drama. He does more than Claressa Shields, to be honest with you. It's just that she went at Layla Ali and, Muhammad Ali and that shit, but she messed up. Plus her relationship is something else that gets a lot of attention. But the bottom line is, Teofimo Lopez Sr., he doesn't get the same pushback at all. He don't get nothing near what Claressa gets. And that dude is out there, man. Fans now say if Claressa gets mental health talk, if Claressa gets behavior critique, then Teofimo Sr. should too. Because his behavior creates stress, creates pressure, creates instability, and it hurts his son's image badly. So I think the question is, is it time for Teofimo Sr. to get help? Help doesn't mean weakness, people. It means communicating, coaching. That's what Teofimo Lopez Sr. I think he needs. He needs to work on his communication as a coach. That emotional regulation. Definitely some media training and accountability training. I mean, he doesn't have to announce to the world that he's going to get some help. But there's something going on there, I think it would benefit him, and if he really, I know he loves his son, but if he really want that team to be able to hold on and get back to the winning ways, it may be a step they need to take. Because right now, fans believe his emotions are hurting his son. His attitude is costing Teofimo respect, and his behavior is becoming part of the story. And when the trainer becomes a headline, that's the problem. And he's the headline right now. So whether you like Teofimo Lopez Sr. or not, the public sees blame without accountability, ego over growth, drama over discipline. And fans believe Teofimo is paying the price. His corner's unstable. His father is a part of the problem, and he's a huge part of the problem. So fair or not, that's the narrative right now. So all I'm going to say is, me just sitting here watching how all this played out, Teofimo Lopez and the team and his dad, they need to really sit back and figure some things out, because people ain't taking that team serious at all right now. And if they're going to come and criticize female fighters for going back and forth online and whatever they're doing, the Claressa Shields and Franchon and the Baumgartners, and people are going to talk about them and talk about the male fighters who are controversial and say wild stuff like the Rolly Romeros and how Adrian Broner was and how Tyson Fury was, and just a lot of crazy stuff that gets said. Keyshawn Davis is another one, man. But if they're going to talk about the ladies and the guys as well, why not talk about Teofimo Lopez's dad? Because, he's probably worse than all of them, to be honest with you. But anyway, y'all keep cool. Good luck to Teo, man. But he and his team created this shit sandwich that they're dealing with. So, they got to eat it and digest it and enjoy that shit, because they were enjoying when they were sitting there, man, winning fights and talking trash on social media and saying the most crazy shit to try to get under fighter's skin. Okay? So the same when they were smiling and laughing and he, ha, ha, ha. They got a he, and ha, ha, ha right now that they're in a negative light, and social media is kicking their ass. Keep cool, I'm in the breeze.